You know, I always said to myself, you're going to do something different. You're going to do something major, something spectacular, something far-fetched, something that people could appreciate. But I never knew what it was going to be. After my son was born, I developed a different appreciation for life, a different perspective. Made me embrace fatherhood. Made me want to value what it takes to be a good father, a consistent dad. A different standpoint, a different outlook. And now after the hard work, after the blood, sweat, and tears, after the failure, after the longful success, after the dedication, after all the frustration, all the peace, all the joy, all the love, all the help, all the volunteering, I give you waken.
Ready?
Like they do on CNN.
That's the goal, you know what I mean? Because there's never been no, like in terms of Philadelphia documentary where we going to step
You see the joint, I missed the joint Oprah there last night. Somebody said there was something on OWN network. I know they're gonna replay it. Did you see the joint?
It was on Fatherhood?
It was the violence in Philly.
For real?
Yeah.
For real?
Topper hadn't even played.
Topper didn't play,
Right.
That was it.
And then we had, they didn't get any chance for the district. 18 weeks.
Okay, whenever you're ready, you can start. Camera's going.
Go ahead.
Talk real quick.
Okay. Let's talk about fatherhood and the journey. How it's been. Testing 1, 2. Mic check.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, cool.
Am I looking to the mic or I'm looking? Oh, looking. Okay. Gotcha.
Is that your name?
No, that's not that shot. Whenever you're ready to play.
Ready?
You want to have a conversation here?
I will, but this is what you do first.
No, I'm saying you want me to during
No, just do it then.
Yeah, we'll be recording. You'll talk to each other.
Okay. Mike Moore.
Say first
Who
name.
you are, like you can say Hall of Famer, you can say former 76er, you can say whoever you are, whatever title you want to have, when you say it.
Okay.
Whatever you want to do.
No, just spell your name.
You've done a whole bunch of different things.
You want me to spell my name?
Yeah, say your first last name, spell it, so that it's spelled correctly under you.
I got it.
Naya, please come stand right here. Put the ball down. Put the ball down. Yes. You can capture a few pictures,
I would say, first of all, thank you for this opportunity. This is a great job you're doing, and very important job, as you know.
Now you gotta start singing with it. Think of songs you feel sing. You gotta be current with the melody. You gotta make it flow. Don't just come out saying anything. Think about it before you start singing. Think about how you feel. Close your eyes a little bit. You said my father is the best?
Yeah.
Welcome to Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, where so many fathers have responsibilities and obligations to maintain a relationship with their sons and their daughters, where so many fathers have jobs and occupations that hinder them sometimes from taking care of their responsibilities. Join me on this epic journey as we highlight, as we embrace those fathers who spend physical, emotional times in their sons and their daughters' lives. But not just any fathers, consistent fathers. That's right, consistency is the key when it comes to fatherhood, when raising your children. Founding Fathers will highlight political officials, judges, lawyers, doctors, radio, TV personality, and much more. Stay tuned. What's unique about Fran Dunphy is that he decided to do something different that you don't hear most fathers doing. He adopted his son. Can you talk a little bit about being a father and how it's impacted you on your journey?
Well, my wife and I had a chance to adopt a child 28 years ago, and so that certainly changed our life. It becomes absolutely not about you anymore when you are childless, I believe, and then it becomes all about, in this case, my son, for the last 28 years.
TV host and media expert Quincy Harris tells a unique story about his child's birth, being present, and also working at the same time.
It wasn't a question of when I got married I was going to be a father, because that's all I saw. I saw my dad come home. He had a 9-to-5. He came home, and me and my sister were his job. Like, he went to work to make money, but me and my sister were his job. Like, he put all his effort, my mom and my dad put all their effort into raising a family.
Give us a rundown on that day that he was born. And you actually were still working.
Yeah, so my son was, he was born like 10 in the morning. And for me, it was the second time around, so, you know, I was kind of, I mean, first time it blows your mind. You don't know what to expect. But second time was like, okay, he's coming. We planned it. We knew he was going to be here. He was born at 10 in the morning. My shift starts at 3 o'clock. I broadcast live from the hospital room and stayed there. Ironically enough, the same day my son was born, that night, we found out my grandmother had passed away. So it was like the circle of life in the same day, but it just goes to show how important and how precious life is. Like, you're seeing this life come in, and you're on top of the world, and then a couple hours later, you find out, my grandmother passed away. So, and it's just one of those things where you just never want to take anything for granted, and you just want to, just be there for your kids.
Ollie Johnson, former Temple Hall of Famer, former 76er. He actually played with Dr. J, Moses Malone, and many of the great legends in the NBA. His intake on fatherhood is especially important because there's so many fathers in the NBA who don't know how to manage fatherhood.
I tried to do as much as I could do in the summer. You have 3, 4, 5 months off, so I try to do as much with them as possible, share as much time as when, make it as regular as I can. And when I was home, take them to school and things like that.
Mike Morak. Although Mike is married and has a child, he still realizes there are things about fatherhood he needs to learn. Essentially, he's trying to master the art of fatherhood. What better way to master the art of fatherhood than to educate yourself? We need more fathers to understand what it takes to do the best, emotionally, mentally, and physically.
And then you realize that you're not really ready for all the little things because there's no other time to breathe. I mean, you're in charge of a life. I think that was like the craziest thing to us. We're like, wow, they really gave us, they really sent us home with them.
Right. You don't have to do anything.
Want to walk? Want to slam it?
Philadelphia native and heavyweight boxing contender Bryant Jennings gives us his intake on co-parenting and being a professional boxer managing fatherhood.
I got to do something, and it's pretty tough, being, doing both because you definitely had to have the energy, not only the time but the energy, to have for your son, and if you had a long day at the gym, kids, it's like full of so much energy. It's just like but you still got to give it to them. So I mean, it's pretty tough, but it's easy.
So I'm back, CCP. Let me just take it in. I'll get goosebumps walking down this road because I remember, 2005, playing basketball here, going to college here, being on this campus, the environment, and to come back now. My son is 8 at that time, his mom was pregnant with him. And throughout this journey, it's been things he's done, it's been things he's accomplished, his first birthday, his 8th birthday, trip to Disney World, all these different things have happened since the last time I've been here. His first day of school, parent-teacher conferences, you name it. But this is where it all started, I had to make a decision, a crucial decision, whether I was going to pursue my career in basketball or whether I was going to pursue my career in fatherhood. What a rewarding feeling to have, knowing you made the right decision.
Teresa and I grew up in a steel town, western Pennsylvania, many years ago.
Dr. Bob Mansell successfully put all 3 of his boys through college with full basketball scholarships. But what's unique about his story is that he had an interracial marriage at a time where it wasn't accepted. And you guys are in an interracial relationship,
Right.
Talk about that and how it's impacted fatherhood for you.
Well, Teresa and I grew up in a steel town, western Pennsylvania, many years ago. So it was a different kind of atmosphere in the world at that time, and we were kids in high school, and there was no support on my side of the family for this relationship. Wow. I mean, 0 support.
Talk about the level of consistency that you've made the commitment as a father.
My wife Teresa and I knew the day Harris was born, our oldest son, our lives were never going to be the same. That day, the day before that, you wake up and you're concerned with what's on the agenda for you and your wife, but the day you wake up with a child, it struck us. That's your first concern. All of a sudden, that's the focal point of your life. It never stopped for us, thankfully. I mean, we're fortunate that was in us, in both of us, and so as our children got older, we had our next and our next. That's just the way it always has been with us. It's just they were the centerpiece of our lives at that point.
We examine the role of the blended parent. The blended parent is a new terminology for step parents, those who take the role of the biological parent who's absent. Bilal Qayyum has a story, a unique story, when he talks about being a part of a blended family and his role that he played.
Role in that kind of situation, a blended family, is the same as it was a role where it wasn't a blended family. He needs to be there. He needs to, provide the support and the love, and the unconditional love. My example, as you're aware of, is that I have 5 children, 2 biological and 3 my kids. I don't refer to them as stepchildren. I refer to them as my children because they grew up in my household with me and my wife. They were my wife's children, and we have a great relationship.
I have a 14-year-old daughter and I have an 8-year-old daughter.
Pro trainer Chuck Ellis gives us his intake on fatherhood and having full custody. He talks about the difficulties as well as the pros in being a father full time.
I have custody of my 14-year-old. I've had custody of her since she was 3 years old. Her mom lives in another state. So I've had custody of her since I've been in college. So, just developing that bond, developing that trust factor, just developing that, that oneness.
Going down.
Temple men's basketball, Coach Fran Dunphy. Great opportunity. Not only, just to hear from somebody like him, but to hear his perspective on fatherhood was ideal, because you hear a lot about coaches, but you never really have them, talk about fatherhood that much. So as father, I thought it was, a great advantage.
First floor.
Really capture that with me.
Going up.
Another one bites the dust. That's the old gymnasium, bro. I remember when I used to go to NYSB here, National Youth Sports Program. I used to run through these hallways when I was a kid. You know what I mean? I remember me and Frank Green running around Temple playing balls, going into all the different gyms. When gyms was closed, the janitors locked the gyms, we go find another gym. When the mechanical ball courts come down, and they come down, we try to sneak opportunity to play ball on the courts before they remodel everything. They still kept the same seats, the same seats, the stands are the same. They just upgraded everything else, which is nice. It's still authentic, like the original. That was good marketing, whoever decided to do that, by the way. Because it still has, it captures the whole McGonigal Hall. It's just a new scenery. They did a phenomenal job with this building. It's probably one of the best buildings in the city in terms of college facilities, by far. So, Founding Fathers, the Wake Up documentary, part 2. We're just gonna keep going. So we come in, any hood, any neighborhood, any school, any business facility, fathers, let's stand up, Before we stand up, we gotta wake up. Before you get out of bed, you gotta wake up first. Right? After you wake up, then you can stand up. So we take it step by step, because it's a lot of fathers who are making a lot of money, who just are not involved in their children's lives. And there's a lot of fathers who aren't making money, who say that they can't be involved because they don't have the fees to get their child what they need. The children need time and emotional inputs consistently. Let's wake up, get rid of the disease, Founding Fathers.